Alrighty, happy Friday, 8th grade. I'm just going to uh, pop on quick and explain how I want this kitchen equipment project to go because writing it seems like it would probably be more confusing than it actually is. So this is just easier for me to explain it to you and for you to see what it is I'm actually looking for with this project. So it's just a quick project to kind of introduce the kitchen equipment that we have. You are to work with your kitchen groups. If you have questions or can't remember who's in your kitchen groups, you could look in your lab folder to see whose papers are in the lab folder with the lab plan because we have not completed the lab yet. And also, you could also ask whoever the sub is to tell you who it is. I will be sure to leave a list of which groups are which. So what I'm going to do is you are going to pick a piece of kitchen equipment out of the cup. When you do so, there is no trading and no complaining. So if you don't know what something is and somebody gets something that you know what it is, you don't get to complain about it. You don't get to trade. Um, we're all going to learn together. We're all going to work together. So everyone's going to get the same information eventually over time. So something for you to be aware of: no trading, no complaining. You get what you get. You don't throw a fit. All right, the next thing is I'm going to explain how you do it. You are going to work with your groups. You can sit next to your groups as long as you can do so and maintain composure and handle it. The first thing that you'll do, obviously, if you are in the group of 5, which is kitchen 1, you will have 6 slides. If you are in any other kitchen, you will have 5 slides on this little presentation. It shouldn't be too hard. First slide is obviously a cover slide, right? Your kitchen number. You could even put your groups down here. But the next thing is using the kitchen equipment that you had drawn. You are going to create a little slide. Now, as you can see, this one is fairly simple. I don't want them to be fairly complicated. However, I don't want them to be bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point picture. I want them to be something like this, where you can see that it's more interesting to look at than 3 bullet points, a title, and a picture somewhere on the slide. So I'll show you how to get all of these. I don't know how familiar you all are with Google Slides, so I'll show you how to do it. And if you already know how to do it, that's great. This will just be a little refresher for you, and maybe you'll also learn something new. So also one thing I want to be sure to say is that your slides should have some sort of theme, or it should flow well with one another. So you shouldn't have your slides should not be just black and white. They should have some color. You can choose this theme over here. If you want to, you can find a theme somewhere else. I don't care. However, I don't want them black and white, and they shouldn't be completely opposite of one another. For example purposes, I'm using red and different shades of red. You don't have to do that, but that's what I'm doing for example purposes. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is change my background, right? Because I'm going with a red theme, so I'm going to change my background. All I did is hover over here, right click, and hit change background. You can use an image, or in this case, I'm just picking a color, red, done. And if you want to reset theme, you could just add to theme, or if you're changing it, reset it to all of the slides that you do. But I'm just doing it for this one. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the title portion of it. This will be like the name of the slide. And what I'm going to do is insert up here, insert shape, and you can do any one of these that you want. I did these banners here. You could do arrows, you could do circles. I don't care which one you choose. Again, it's okay if this has some personality. I just want to be sure that it's not completely chaotic and doesn't flow well with the rest of the group. So I'm just going to make this as is. And then I'm going to put a text box over it so I can write in it and make it flow with the ribbon that it has. So I'm going to do text box. I'm going to make it about the size that the banner is, and I'm going to do mine on the kitchen scale. And just so you are aware, nobody will have the ones on the example. So nobody will have saute pan, immersion blender, or kitchen scale. So you're all going to have to find the same information on different ones. Nobody's going to have one that's already been done. And I'm going to change it to make it look nice, to flow with the presentation. Oh, maybe a little too big. Make this larger. And there you have it. And I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I'm going to make it go like that. Beautiful, right? So then I'm going to go to Google, the Googly, and I'm going to find a picture. Kitchen scale. Images. And there are obviously lots of types of kitchen scales. This one looks good. Copy image, which I assume you all know how to do. If not, I'm assuming somebody in class knows how to do it. Make it a little bit larger, and there's the picture of the kitchen scale, which is also another requirement. So far we have the requirements being you have to have a title somewhere on there, and you have to have a picture on there. The next requirement would be that you have to have the definition. So I'm going to create another shape. I like these call outs that they have. This one's pretty cool. And I'm going to go just like that. And I can move this up and down and around. And maybe I'll put my definition here. Now remember, you have to put a text box in this way. And I'm going to Google what definition or purpose you could even put into Google to get it to come up with what you want. So used to measure the weight of ingredients and other foods. So in this box, I'm going to put used to measure weight of ingredients. Apparently I can't spell. I'm going to change it so it's all universal, right? We want it to look pretty. Bring this up. I can even make this a little bit larger, right? And there you have that. So, of course, I'm a perfectionist, has to all be in. Okay, so then the next and final requirement would be foods that are frequently made or used with this kitchen tool or kitchen equipment. So kitchen scale uses would be another one. Kitchen scale function, to measure accurately. And I know that in a lot of cases, baking recipes, what other types of ingredients do we use in baking? Things like flour is a good one. We talked about how the weight of flour is different than like the volume. So depending on how you measure it, remember, the weight of it will be different depending on how you measure it. So in this one, I'm going to put another text box. And then and there are many ways that you can use kitchen scale. This is just one example, and all I'm asking for is just one example. And obviously I'm going to make it pretty. And it should be pretty simple now, and that's all the information I want on there. Now sometimes things get a little wonky, and the way that you have once you put your text box in, or if you put your text box in first before your little call out guide, before your shape, what'll happen is it'll be over the top of it like it is right now. So what you have to do is you have to right click and go to order and send to back. And then it'll get that the way that you want it. Or you could hover over your text box and go bring forward. And that'll get it in the order that you want it in. One final thing, obviously, one person should start the Google slide and share it with everybody else. Down here in the speaker notes, I want the name of the person who had this kitchen tool. So obviously I did this one. So my name would go down here in this notes section. So I know who did what, and so I can give you credit for that. If you finish early, this is a fairly simple to find the information on. However, it gets you working more with Google Slides a little bit. If you finish this early, you do have the rest of that baking math work packet to do. So you can finish that. That will be due on Monday. Otherwise, if you don't have anything else to do, you already finished that, you can read a book or work on other homework quietly. But this needs to be done first, and the kitchen baking math packet also needs to be done. And if you have any questions, as always, you can email me. I don't know how quickly I'll be able to respond at the FCCLA State Conference, but I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. And I will see you all on Monday for the granola bar lab.